Hey guys, I promised I'd make you a video on this 5-minute scalping strategy that I've kind of half-assed figured out here. So there's only really two components. There's price action, this reversal indicator, which I will show you the up arrows, down arrows. You know, it's hard to trust one of those, but when you trust it, when you use it along with another indicator that you do trust, it tends to work out shockingly well in this instance. So what I've got here is, I'll give you a breakdown of what all my circles were. This was Thursday of this week. What was Thursday? Thursday was December 8th, 2022. So that's what this is on the 5-minute chart. And let me go to my studies here. And this is called DMI reversal alerts at the factory, or whatever the study defaults, 10, 3, 3, and 3. So I've played with changing them and found it to be less accurate when I mess with the settings. So that's what my indicator is there. And then I'm also using down at the bottom the stochastic momentum index. From here forward, I will refer to it as the SMI. But that's really it. As far, you could literally trade off of just these two things. I have VWAP, your 8 EMA, your 50 EMA, your 20 SMA, 200 EMA also, and really those are for trend following and identifying good exit points. For example, if the chart is respecting VWAP the entire day and I'm in a put, when it gets back to VWAP, I'm getting out. If it wasn't there, I wouldn't know to get out at that point. So the point is quick plays, we're scalping. I'm not trying to hold a trend from beginning to end. I don't care. We're just going to let that one slide. So yeah, I'm getting in. I'm trying to make $100 a time. That's kind of my goal. Each trade, quick $100. And leave it at that. But let me get rid of, we'll maximize this cell. So like I said, this was Thursday of this week. These tiny circles here, I have identified every time that the indicator was correct by itself with no regard to the SMI. So the indicator by itself was correct 21 times. If you had bought every time a green arrow or a red arrow appeared, buy a call for green, buy a put for red, you would have been correct 21 times, and on this particular day, you would have came out way ahead. It doesn't always happen that way. That's why we don't play it that way. And then the larger circles are the 8 plays that I would have taken, but I was at work. I wasn't paying attention to the computer. I wasn't just sitting there hoping, all day just waiting for my next trade. And then the ones that I've identified or have colored green are the 3 that I did take on Thursday. So down here, this is what I'm looking for. This is so crazy, stupid, simple. You're not going to believe this actually freaking works, but it's working. I've put, 50 hours of practice into this exact strategy on this 5-minute chart. So all I'm looking for is on the SMI, you've got your plus 40, you've got your minus 40, right? Down here, we got a crossover below the minus 40. That means we're overextended. So I'm looking for this crossover in conjunction with my green up arrow. Boom. And I don't buy the second that it crosses. You got to wait for some confirmation. I'm waiting for the next candle to open up green, or up here I'm waiting for the next candle to open up red. You got to have some kind of confirmation. You can't just buy in because it looks like it's going to cross and I got an arrow. I've seen it go the other way too many times and the arrow disappear. So wait for a little bit of confirmation. So on this one, I got my crossover down here. We got our green arrow. I bought in about halfway up this candle. I hit my 10% profit, I'm out. I could have rode this, Jesus Christ. That's 100% profit all day long. But I hit my 10%, I got out, that's fine. So here you could have bought it, would have worked. Here, you got your, I didn't like it. I wouldn't have taken this play regardless for a couple of reasons. So the crossover down here on the SMI, it was weak. We're going sideways right here. I don't like that. It tends to flip and go either direction when the SMI is running sideways. So I wouldn't have taken this play, although I did circle it because you could have. You got your cross a little bit late. And if you'd have bought and held through this pullback, it would have worked out fairly well in your favor. But that's not an ideal play. I wouldn't have taken it. I did take this one. We're pretty far extended below the 40. I got a nice strong crossover where the lines aren't kind of running sideways. So we got a strong crossover. I bought in on this candle. By the top of this candle, I'd hit my 10%. I was out of the trade. So that was it. The whole chart's running sideways at this point. You don't want any of this stuff, regardless of the fact that you got a crossover here, and you could have theoretically rode it for the next half an hour all the way down until you got another crossover here, in which case you could ride it for another half an hour up and made a little bit of money. But like I said, when the SMI is moving sideways, when you got the chart moving sideways, you don't want any of this stuff. This isn't safe. You don't want to take these plays. Over here, I wish I would have caught this one. This would have been good, but I wouldn't have taken it because we're above the plus 40. Above the plus 40, I'm looking for puts. But that would have been a nice move. This one would have been fantastic. This is ideal. This is what you want all day long. We're far extended above the plus 40. You get a solid crossover. It's real easy to identify. Your lines are getting farther apart here. I would have bought in on this candle and wrote it down. That would have been a beautiful play. I've toyed around with the idea of literally, when you get this situation, buying at the top and just riding the SMI all the way to the bottom again. It works out way more often than not. I just don't have the balls because I've trained myself to get out at your 10%. That's it. And trying to score your whole day's profit in one trade has not worked out for me in the past. Rarely, if ever. So anyway, I was at work. That would have been a great trade. I didn't catch it. I didn't catch this little one, but I easily could have made my 10% on that trade also. I did take this one. We got the crossover down here as soon as I got my red arrow and this is really ideal. I don't like it when you get your indicator first and then you have to wait for your crossover. Those ones, they work out 70% of the time, but I have found that when you get your crossover before your indicator, it works out like probably 100% of the time. I don't think I found one instance where it didn't work out in my favor when that has happened. So this is super ideal. I caught it right at the end of the day, or 3:30 or whatever time it was. But I jumped in because I had already had the crossover. The red arrow popped up, and I was like, hell with it, let's do it. So I got in. I made my 10% somewhere like halfway down this doji, and I'm out, and that's the end of my day. So I had 3 successful trades that day. And like I said, I've put 50 hours or something into playing with this strategy, and I go back and I practice trade it on on-demand. And as long as so there's a lot of fake arrows. Look at this guy here. You got a green up arrow. Candle's clearly red. It was never green for 1 second. It opened red and went red, but you had a green arrow. You can't just trust this indicator. And we're in between the 40s. Don't take that play. There are some winning plays in between the 40s, sure, but I don't trust them. I don't play with them. Screw it. I'm not even considering it. So when I'm walking past my computer in the middle of my workday going, oh, where are we at now? I'm not even slowing down as I'm walking past the computer unless I see us extended above or below the 40s. So that's really it. If that's all you do is take the trades where the crossover is above or below the 40s and you've got your indicator, hell, you don't even have to have the indicator. Most of the time when you're far extended, you can pretty well bet on that falling. And then when you're overextended under, or when you're extended underneath the minus 40, you can bet on it going up. I've actually tried to trade that and it doesn't always work out, but like I said, when you use the indicator in conjunction with the SMI down here, it just freaking works. And no, it's not 100% strategy, but it's right way more often than it's not, which equals profit. So that's it. That's all I'm doing. There's nothing complicated. I'm scalping trades on the 5 minute. I've tried it on the 1 minute. It's riskier. Some people prefer to trade on the 1 minute. I don't like how fast it moves. And I tried it on the 10 minute just in practice, and I don't really like it. It doesn't work for me. You might give it a shot. Hell, you might try it on the 1 hour, but the 5 minute seems to work best for me, and that's That's just where I'm going to leave it. I'm going to keep trading this way because it's the first way that I've actually been consistently profitable in the, I don't know, 6 months that I've been dicking around with this stuff. So anyhow, if you like to give it a shot, go for it. Man, I'd be happy to see some more people try this out and give me some feedback. If you have any more questions I can answer, I'm happy to do that. And if you want, maybe I can take another video for y'all and go through another day. Just maybe this past week or something. I didn't trade a whole lot this past week, but happy to answer any questions if you have any. It's pretty basic. I'll go over one more thing really fast before I end this video. If you're in, like, this was a pretty sideways day. There was good price action this day. It was fairly predictable. There wasn't a lot of aggressive moves other than, right at the beginning of the day, which always happens. So it was a stable day and it wasn't hard to trade. But on a day that you've got a solid uptrend, like you've literally been going up since open, do not buy a put. I don't care if you get a crossover on the SMI and you get a down arrow. Do not buy a put on a day that you are going all up. Ride the trend is your friend. I've screwed myself repeatedly this way. The trend is your friend. On an up day, I'm only looking to buy calls. Wait for the SMI to cross back under the minus 40. It might not even happen. It might only happen one time that day if it's an aggressive uptrend. But wait for it and then buy a call and ride the trend. Do not try to buy a reversal. You will lose your ass. And the same thing goes in a down day. You're not buying calls on a down day. You're waiting for a crossover above the 40 and then you're buying a put. So those days are a little bit hard to trade, but these days where you just you could draw supply and demand zones and you bounce back and forth, these days are easy as pie, back and forth. You can just rip trades all day. Bam, 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 bam. Like I said, there's 8 of these trades that I could have taken had I been sitting there bored and had nothing better to do. And a lot of them worked out great like this one. So, but that's it. That's all the information I've got. It's, a little bit of knowledge of price action and how the chart respects your 20, your 50, your 8, your VWAP. That's helpful, but that comes with practice. If you just screw around for 5 hours, 10 hours on your computer on demand and you learn how these lines react against each other, it builds a picture in your head pretty quickly. It's very simple. And you'll know what to do. I mean, if you've been riding the 8 all day, you can buy a bounce off of the 8. That's just more confirmation, or this 200 down here. Shit. I mean, I might have bought this had I seen it happen. I might have just bought this based off of the bounce off the 200, because we had a crossover too. So anyway, I hope this is helpful. Everybody have a good day.